right, so we already rolling.
Which
Like we already not live, but we recording.
Right, so we're
And
not gonna be live though, right?
No,
We
live
gonna
would have
edit,
been
we gonna
like
make it right.
Well, edit. They ain't no edit. We just unless we say something we don't want on there, which I doubt we're gonna do. Since you're in a classroom every day, you kind of deal with making sure you say the right things.
Right. Nah. You don't. I'll let you know.
You don't live like that anyway.
Yeah. No, that's not my style. I hope not.
Nah.
So is this being recorded though?
So visually, this is being recorded. It's going to look just like that. That's why I have that up. And and so if
I'm representing Nike, I'm like,
oh man, Nike's going to love that. I like that.
I like that.
And the
It's
New York
cool.
is that New York Mets?
No, it's New York. This
Just the state.
This New York, man. No, this is
City
actually
or
this is the
state?
real deal. This is old school New York.
Tell me about the hat.
No, it's just an old school New York hat. Actually, this
That's
is
cool.
Back
'Cause
from
you're
the Negro League, actually.
Really?
Yeah, someone from Miami told me about it. I had a regular New York hat on. This Italian like guy like, hey, I like the hat. Why you don't have the other one, the original? I don't even know what it was, right? So I'm like, oh man, I feel like I got the wrong hat. Let me switch it up. So went home and Googled it.
Yeah.
To find what is that? I don't know.
That's
I
cool.
wasn't born, but it was like
Back
a
in the-
custom hat. You couldn't just buy it at a store. So I was like, cool.
So did you have it made, or did you go and find it at a place
No,
where they custom?
they custom make it
That's cool.
online, and it's like you
Nice.
put the order in. So that was cool.
That's cool. But it comes from the back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, I know nothing about back in the day, but
Right.
original. Some I like
Well,
original things.
If you do know something about this hat and the original meaning, where it came from, if it was the Negro League in the baseball.
baseball,
Oh, that's
correct?
killer.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
There's so
I
much
played a
good
little
hit.
baseball. So.
Did you tell
Yeah,
us?
yeah.
So you're from New York originally?
No.
Where are you from originally?
I'm actually from California.
You said that last time.
I'm actually from Berkeley, California, which is
Nice.
crazy to be from Berkeley. Berkeley was crazy.
I know. That's the history.
Back in the day, man. I'm an older guy too, so
You look like you're 30.
No, I'm over. You know that hill they talk about?
I'm over. I'm over it too. Next week I'll even add another year to it.
Nah, you're not there yet.
Actually, once this broadcast, it'll be the week before, but it's all
That
good.
is funny. But I'm from Berkeley, man, and
That's awesome.
born and raised there.
It's so beautiful there.
It was really nice in California. The weather was perfect growing up every day, so that was super cool.
What'd you do every day?
Every day, man, I was at parks. I was a park kid, and I was a
Playing
kid.
basketball, swings.
I was a football player. I played every sport. I do that. I do it right now, like with the kids I teach.
Oh, yeah.
I just made something up today about all sport. I make stuff up. Like I like creating.
So you teach first graders?
Yeah, first grade.
Of course you make stuff up. You got to.
I'm going first through eighth too. So
Oh, it's beautiful.
it's
I
different
love it,
kids,
man.
but yeah, all sports. So I believe in people. Everyone's an athlete of some sort. What's
Oh,
your
yeah.
sport and play all of them, and you don't have to like them all, love them all. But if I need to play, I can at least do the basics.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's good for kids, even if they like to be on inside, maybe they're better readers and they're not athletically, or maybe they are consider themselves athletically challenged.
Yeah.
It's good for them to get out and get that vitamin D, get that, get that exercise, get that blood flowing.
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
even-
that's real good.
I mean, but anyway, so you grew up in Berkeley, California, and you didn't move to Louisiana till later.
Yeah, it was a while. So I came to Louisiana, man. It was quite some time. Me and my wife moved out here,
Okay.
to help some family members.
Yeah.
Over 20 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so, we was pretty newlywed too, and married a couple of years, and
That can be challenging to a new couple.
yeah, it was just I went through culture shock.
She was from here, or she was
No,
from
she
California?
wasn't. She was from California,
Ooh-wee.
born and raised.
Oh,
Didn't know.
boy.
Didn't know. I mean, this is before Katrina.
So were you?
And I came from Silicon Valley. Like I was.
Oh, wow.
I was out there doing, the Y2K, and I was in the middle. I was working at a company back then, not knowing what was going to happen.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Did you? I don't know a lot about what happened in 2000. I don't really remember. I was like, oh, nothing happened. And then, I do know there was a big fall of the .coms.
Yeah, that came a little later. That came actually
like
after we
02,
left.
03, something like that.
That's right after we left.
Well, that's good. You made a good move.
Yeah.
Because-
You had the housing boom too.
Right. Everything got expensive.
Yeah, it got real expensive, and so but I was out here, and we kind of fell in love with the area and stayed. And so
Yeah.
still here doing some good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I could have a second home in California.
Yeah, no.
Easily. I wouldn't want to pay the taxes on it.
Right.
But
right.
I'd like to have it.
I know.
Anybody wants to donate me a second home in California and pay the taxes, I'm all for it.
Right. And I think, just like everywhere's experiences. So the conversation that I always hear about is earthquakes, right, in California. Like, I'd rather, they was like, I'd rather have hurricanes than earthquakes. But then growing up, we really didn't. An earthquake was like the table was shaking. Now, there was a couple of big ones, right?
Right. Yeah, they had
But
one in
just
the
like
80s.
In 80, I think it was 89.
In Oakland.
It was 89. That's when
Yeah.
that bridge fell down. Yeah, at that time, I was away at college, so I didn't really feel it. I was in, northern, further away.
Okay. Where'd you go to school?
Humboldt State.
Nice.
Yeah, it was nice out
I
there.
bet it was. It's
And
beautiful country.
Well, I'm a rugby player. And,
Oh,
I got
nice.
recruited. So I was out there and, the trees and everything else. And
Nice.
the beaches was really nice. And, it was really cold, though. But, yeah.
Oh, it can get cold in Northern California, by
It
the
was
way,
cold.
ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't traveled, I have done an entire run promoting records and whatnot. I actually played in Stockton.
Yeah.
And,
Okay.
and-
Yeah, Stockton. That's where I was
so
in that
awesome.
area. Yeah.
But it just
And nights
really,
get cold.
it gets real cold.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. But it's some good days. The days are like, nice breeze, 70 degrees, So I was, going to parks and stuff,
Yeah.
just getting out.
Yeah. And so you grew up. Your childhood was mostly in the late '70s and early '80s.
Right.
Yeah. That's a good time, though. I
Yeah.
mean, that
well,
was
actually, I'm born in '70, so.
yeah.
So.
But I mean, like your teenage years, were
'80s,
early
man. That's
80s,
like
yeah.
that's the
So
foundation.
what kind of
everything.
music
It's
were
like-
you listening to? Were you like the hip, the hop, the hippity hop, and the hip,
I
the hip,
did.
not,
Yeah,
like the
I
old
did.
school rap?
I did
Like the
everything.
first?
That's what's crazy.
Did
I
you
was
like
that
rock?
guy.
Were you into the
I
hair
did.
band?
I
Like
did it. I kind of listened to
Bon
everything.
Jovi?
Yeah, I knew about all of them.
That's cool.
So I was able to go in and out. I played rugby. Think about
Yeah,
rugby,
so you were-
right? So I had
yeah.
to have something about me that.
Yeah, you were around
How would
all
I-
cultures.
Yeah,
yes,
I was.
totally get it.
I was diverse.
Yes, absolutely.
So I hung out with just a little bit about everyone. So
That's awesome.
and that really helped me, because it was
Yeah.
kind of, I don't come from a good side of the neighborhood at all.
Right?
There was a lot of struggles.
yeah.
It was a lot of hard times, and but being able to just relate to different people really helped,
Yeah.
and I call that exposure, right? Just being exposed to different cultures.
100%.
It really helped me,
You think your sports had anything to do with maybe like your early sports had anything to do with just motivating you, team sports in general, to kind of not go in the wrong direction?
Yeah, I know, sports saved my life. I was a YMCA kid.
Yeah.
I actually had a YMCA across the street from it was a YMCA in a neighborhood.
Oh, what's a perfect place?
Right. And so
keep you busy.
I did everything, flag football. I was quick. I can do different things, but I had troubles. And, a lot of kids that didn't do those things, they wound up in trouble.
Right.
They didn't just have it. They was in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And so sports really, I believe sports really does help people.
Oh,
It
yeah.
helps you focus, focus on your health, focus even your mental health.
Right?
And so even as a kid, having your kids do things is very important. The socialization that happens.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we used to remember who was that? It used to be like the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. It was a show that would talk as Wild World of Sports or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And they
I
remember that's
that TV
old
show.
school. I'm just old, man. I
You
just
might be a
feel-
little bit. That Wild World of Sports, though, that was in the 90s. Because
Yeah,
most
somewhere.
of my memories are in the 90s. I can remember a little bit of my 80s. I was born in 78, so I'm
Okay,
8 years
yeah.
behind you. But
Yeah.
but
So I'm
not
I'm-
that far.
Yeah,
we
not
are.
that far.
We are, but it's close. I do remember bag phones, and I remember, I remember not having any cell phones. I remember just Mama being like, "Get on out for the whole day," and we didn't come back.
Right.
And
yeah.
here in Baton Rouge, that was off of Highland Road.
Wow.
And we would just get in the woods and do everything we could. And there were some times we'd get into trouble. I was not well behaved, and so which is, I think everybody comes from a different direction. Mine was I think for me, this is my way of giving back, doing this kind of work, doing
Yeah.
work at Songs of Survivors, my nonprofit work.
Awesome.
That's my opportunity to kind of say, if I can help a kid not do what I was doing, then that's what I want to try to do.
Yeah, that's where I'm from too. Yeah, that same place.
Yeah.
And, it was important. I kind of had the same experience, but you was in the woods, I was in the city, right?
Yeah.
So the rule was you had to be home before the street lights came on.
Right? I mean, literally.
So, yeah, that was real back then.
And kids, my kids are 13 and 15. And 6, this little guy that's in the other room, and they have no idea what it's like.
Yeah.
To
They never
not
will.
be, tracked.
Yeah.
And to have that freedom to make that. So I'm actually empowering my kids, my teenagers especially. It's almost like, let me give you enough rope just to hang yourself a little bit, and I don't like to use that analogy, so I hate saying that, but you know what I mean, like just enough trouble. Let me give you just enough of that just to get yourself in trouble a little bit, not too far.
A little freedom.
Yeah, a little bit of freedom to test them waters and see if you're going to put your foot in or not.
Right.
If you're going to jump head first.
Right.
Because if you jump head first, I'll know I need to really restrict you.
Right. And I know something I learned just even through sports and some of the role models of my life, repetition strengthens retention.
Say that one more time.
Repetition strengthens retention.
Oh, I like that.
And so these different environments, when we teach our kids, the right thing over and over, they'll retain it. As they get older.
100%. That dude's a
stick.
sponge.
Right.
And the more that I continue to. So speaking of that, we were talking about how he, in a conference today, how, he's gone from kind of being physical, like throwing fists at me. Back in about 6 months ago, I noticed he was doing that. And I really do think that I probably was spanking him early as a child. And that just continued for him to manifest. And, well, if dad hits me, then I can swing at him. But instead of me reacting, so over the next, it's probably been longer than 6 months. It's probably been a year. For the last year, what I've been doing is just embracing him and telling him I'm loving him and redoing that every single time and talking to my wife about that openly, like, hey, let's both practice this strategy when he gets like angry and turn that anger into love and just change that through repetition. It has really helped. We talked about that today. He has not really done that at all. He's turned into, he's always been a sweet boy.
Yeah.
But again, it's like if daddy's doing it, what can I expect?
Right,
He's just going to model the behavior I'm doing.
That's right.
100%. So.
Right. And I like to look at it too, working with kids and with the youth, it's social emotional learning.
Oh, yeah.
And, one time I was working with a group of kids. Well, I worked with one particular kid. Guy was always mad.
Yeah.
He was getting in fights all the time, about to kicked out of school. So no one knew what the problem was. So I kind of caught him in the hallway, had a space. You got to, it's about timing too.
Oh, yeah.
That right time. So I was like, what's going on, And he was like, these kids, they keep talking about me. I said, okay, kids always going to talk about it. He said, but my shoes. Like, okay, my shoes are always dirty, always messed up because dad's having problems at home. We're having financial issues, and I'm mad at that. So I'm saying, really, are you really mad or are you sad? He said, I'm really sad.
Yeah.
And so it gets into that social emotional learning. A lot of kids don't know how to manage their emotions. And so from that, I got a lot of information, right? So I had a workshop with a group of kids, and we were talking about the same thing, not his specific case. And so I was surprised, a lot of kids had similar situations where they were manifesting anger in situations where really they were sad.
Right.
So I said, look, let's make up a name. We made up a name called SMAD, right?
I like it.
So when you're mad, but you're really sad, that's SMAD.
Gotcha.
Let's deal with those emotions from that angle. Knowing that sadness is there, it just changes the whole feel, the whole temperature. And so they don't want to fight people anymore.
The light bulb
really,
went
right?
off.
Yeah. So for me too, right? I
Isn't
have
that
mad
amazing?
days, right? I go with it. I'm be honest, we all.
I love that we can still be
about this stuff.
Youthful about it. Like remember, we, like you said, you didn't say this, I heard this earlier about, when we're approaching our children sometimes as adults, expecting them to be thinking like we're thinking, instead of remembering that they're children and they haven't lived the experiences that we have. They haven't had the life that, and so remembering the perspective of that child and really being welcoming in the way that you approached them. The way you approached him made him feel safe.
Yeah.
It made him feel like, I know that no matter what I tell you, what he told you, he knew that you were going to believe him.
Yeah.
And that is a huge thing, because when they're at home, we don't know what they're going through.
Right.
And sometimes we know that kids sometimes are being neglected in the biggest ways, not being fed, not just not being loved and physically touched by their parents or parent or guardian in some cases, but actually, not being the basics of life. There's so many children especially in our community, because I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah. I think that's worldwide. I think that's just
in our state.
That's
there's
what's going
so
on.
many rural areas of our state
Yeah.
where kids are just being massively neglected, and the pandemic really just made that just exponentially larger. The amount of, because of them not leaving the house for so long,
Right.
or being stuck in that small bubble and not having school to plug into and have those other influences like you,
Right.
who are bringing real positivity, real change into their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, so let's kind of fast forward. College, you did Humboldt,
Yeah.
and then
Humboldt State.
you got a bachelor's there, or you went to school there. That's so awesome. And
Yeah.
where did you go after that? And then how did you 20 years later kind of fast
Well,
forward?
after that, that's where I kind of moved out. Me and my wife, we
Yeah.
got married, did that thing, and got into Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Did a lot of technology,
Mm.
and I always wanted to be a teacher. I mean, I kind of got swayed away when you're young. You start looking at how much money you're making.
Yeah, it ain't much, I'm sure. No, you don't do it for the money.
Right. And so I wasn't ready at that time. And so when I came to Baton Rouge, I really started to pursue my passion. Mm-hmm. And I was at a time where, I was one of those guys that got the story that I made it out, right? A lot of kids didn't, like I was saying. But it was still something missing, right, as an adult. Like I like you said, there was a gap there.
Yeah.
And and I think a lot of people were like that, where we get to that place, even if we have made a step in the right direction and a level of success, but there's another level. Yeah. And I didn't know how to get there, never been there before, didn't have nobody to show me.
Yeah, to hand you that pathway.
Yeah, some people have that, they have it in family, they have it in other things, some people just don't. Yeah. And some people can't fix it on themselves, they can't. I mean, it's not like, I'm not going to treat you.
They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
They've never had a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I mean, as a parent, parenting is difficult, really. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do.
They know this is how you parent book.
Yeah, right. And you got to realize how you felt as a kid, what your parents was going through to change. And sometimes you don't even realize as a kid what your parents was going through. You say, I had bad parents, but really maybe your parents had bad experiences. Yeah. Didn't know how to deal with them, did their best.
They weren't equipped.
They were just trying to clothe you, right? You know, trying to feed you, and you had to do it on your own. That's just kind of life, right? Yeah. And so,
Man, that is so much, there's so much truth in this.
Yeah. I mean, it's real. I believe. But I came across something that really, it was life-changing. I came across a community that focused on success and empowerment, and it was success inside out, right? Starting within. So growing up, I thought, what you looked like was success, what you was driving, what people said about you was success. Didn't think about the inside,
the world.
who you really was. Yeah. You know what? Dealing with those fears that you have was success. Those things that nobody can see. Yeah. Though at night when it's time to go to what, you feel what's missing. Dealing with that is really success. And that's where the light bulb went off.
The freedom
that
these kids and you and me, I included, the freedom that I was talking about that earlier, about not being held down by money. Yeah. Because God, I know, is going to provide. He has provided for my family. He's provided for us. And just knowing that freedom. Yeah. So what you're talking about is that freedom. Yeah. When a kid feels like, you know what, I can see that light. I know that I can get there.
Mm-hmm.
They've never been, so many kids have not been empowered. And that's why you are such an important role for these young people, especially the age group that you're getting the chance to impact them in. I mean, I'm really, really proud to be sitting across the table from you, because I think you have and are going to continue to be a massive impact in these young people's lives. All right, I'm going to shut up. Keep going.
No, that's good. I mean, and so what I did was I started my nonprofit. It gave me the passion. It showed me, okay, do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay not to be this great tech guy, or
right.
It's okay not to, make millions, but what really matters.
Right.
There's that passion. That was my passion, and that's what it still is to this day. And I created the CARE Foundation. So the CARE Foundation is a nonprofit that I created, and it's an acronym, and it really ties back into just to my life.
Yeah.
It stands for careers, academics, recreation, and exposure. And really, I say CARE Foundation, you hear about foundations, but what I'm saying is I believe that's the foundation of every individual, no matter what situation you're in.
So you're using the word phonetic, like literally.
Yeah. I mean,
as
it's really
the foundation.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's real. And so there was times where career was important. So I exposed youth to careers. Mm-hmm. Knowing what a career was, that's what no one told me about careers when I was a young person. They would just go to school.
Yeah.
Get a job. I didn't know about careers. And then academics, right? Yeah. Knowing that you have to do something. Now, I'm not saying you have to get a 4-year degree, but some type of education to be successful. You need that, right?
Yeah.
And of course, recreation, sports. I created something called SEL, Athletics, Social Emotional Learning Athletics, where we teach the character of an athlete, right? No matter what sport you playing, right? But there's a character that goes along with it. And that brings into, your health,
absolutely,
taking care of yourself, longevity of life. And the biggest key, though, is exposure. Oh, my goodness.
That's huge. What I mean, like where you are plugging into children. And again, not every child is neglected. Not every child is in that position. But that doesn't mean that you're not. I mean, you identify where your most needed children are. And then the ones that aren't, the ones that aren't neglected, maybe you know where they are. And so you teach them and provide for them the level of social emotional support that they need. But if you see a child that is, part of your curriculum is also teaching them how to take care of themselves in a healthy way.
That's right.
Brush your teeth every day, kids. We got to make sure we're doing that twice a day. I mean, even simple things like that.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing is helping them learn how to take care of themselves long term. Like, that'll really impact them for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. I look at it as an empowering.
It's 100%. You're setting that spark.
Yeah, that's right. And
then continuing to show them the path.
Yeah, and making them feel like they can do things. Like you can, whatever it is you want to do. I don't tell them, do this or do that.
Right.
But whatever it is you want to do, you can do it. You're empowered to do it. Actually, I got a little wristband here. I was gonna bring you one, but I don't have it. But
that's all good.
I am amazing, right?
Oh, that's
so
incredible.
I do some sessions on that. Self-empowerment. Like, you have to feel that about yourself.
Can you buy those?
Yeah, you can buy
I mean,
those,
like
actually.
Online, like from you?
Yeah.
To support you?
You can.
All right, where do you get it?
I don't have the online store up yet. I just still let out my school in different places right now.
So let's do this.
That's what we're working on.
Yeah, as soon as you get it, let us know, and we're going to put it out for you, because I want to publicize that, help support your organization and what you're doing. I think that's what this is about. That's what this podcast is about. It's not necessarily, when they ask me about what are y'all talking about? I don't know. Everything.
Right.
We're going to talk about, but the general consensus of it is going to be built around motivation, positivity, triumph over tragedy.
Yeah.
Not necessarily everyone has been through tragedy, but that doesn't mean that you can't speak to a young person who has.
That's right.
And speak motivation and triumph in their life.
Yeah, and the thing is, I've been through tragedy.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that I'm not.
Yeah. I don't mean you specifically.
I'm not going to even tell my tragedy like what it was, but everyone has a story.
Exactly.
And so, and that's what really my heart goes to. It's, you know, you got a lot of people out there, not just kids, it's adults.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they might make poor choices and they go through different things, but to every story, there's a background story. So, you know, even when I'm driving down the street,
Well,
right,
like the
I
kid
see
with the
somebody do
shoes.
something. Yeah,
The kid with the shoes,
Right.
straight up.
right,
Like that's the back. I mean,
right.
And
You would have never known that, though, right?
100%.
Never would have known it.
If you wouldn't have taken the time to make him feel safe,
Right,
and that's what I'm trying to say.
right.
That's
right.
how we meet people. That's how we
That's
meet
right.
people where they are.
That's right.
You know, when it's you're part of my work. Part of the work we do here is with more than just kids. We work with veterans also,
Nice.
and
My dad's a veteran.
yeah, man, it's just been what an honor. Thank you to your father. What an honor to be able to work with them as adults. But you know, so many people adults. I mean, I dealt with so much trauma too, and was hurting for so long as an adult, and just seeking out, you know, seeking out my affirmation and so many things that were not right and not good for me and not healthy. And that was a manifestation of my trauma and not having someone like you to, you know, to help guide me in that moment through that trauma, through that work. So you came to Louisiana 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And, you know, for whatever reason, but you ended up, how long have you been, and now, I guess I don't want to tell you how to tell the story, but I'd love to hear more. Keep going.
Well, I'm just a simple guy, man. You know, I came out here and, you know, it was an adjustment,
Yeah.
you know, culture shock, you know, kind of finding where you fit. You know, I had a really good experience. You know, I worked different jobs. You know, I did a lot of sales jobs because I was a salesperson.
Yeah.
You know, worked at the radio stations, you know, selling commercials and things like that. And, you know, I did appraisals. So I got into different things. Just, you know, you're still kind of feeling your way. But had a really positive experience at a nonprofit, Big Buddy program.
Oh, yeah.
Big Buddy program. I mean,
I love them.
I got on
Miss
the Big
Galen.
Buddy program. Miss Galen Mack, she was.
Oh, yeah. She's amazing.
She was amazing. I am amazing. She's one of, she's
I
one
love
of
her.
those. And they were doing like so much within the community, and I learned so much. And it's like the spark went off about what I should be doing. You know, I should.
That's the Holy Ghost. I'm telling you right now. That's what you call that Holy Ghost, baby. I'm telling you. I call it the Holy Spirit for me. I don't care. It's the same thing as God talking to you saying it's time to move on something.
But yeah, so through that really got me exposed, and I began to see, you know, really see the need and realize that, you know, everyone can't fulfill those needs, right? I mean, everybody don't have the patience. Everybody can't see enough to just wait and listen and find the need and meet the need and keep going though, right? It's not like, you know, you have someone under bondage where, okay, you know, look to me. And that's why even at my school where I work at and different things, you know, I tell them, call me coach, you know, because you're going to always have a coach in your life. Might not be me.
Right.
I can't, you know, grow up with you.
Right.
But you're going to have someone in your life that's going to fulfill that role. Look for that person. And that's where I was at, you know, through Big Buddy. I kind of came into that place where, okay, I see my calling almost like when it comes to my profession. Like, you know, there's the passion that drives me to see people grow and do better.
Yeah.
And to see that path and really help them. So from that, I mean, that's where I'm at now. I mean, I'm at Louisiana Key Academy right now, School for Dyslexic Kids. It's a wonderful school. I mean, I love the staff there, the teachers. You know, it's something where you're working at a school.
Yeah.
But when you see people that have passion for the kids, you know, it's almost like that kids first mentality. And, you know, they're willing to go that extra mile, and I see that. So that's why I'm there.
Yeah.
You know, and what I'm doing now, I'm building a program, sports program, like I was talking about earlier. So we have a basketball team. We didn't have that before. Then they hired some amazing coaches with me. I have some amazing guys and,
that's
and
awesome.
girls that's supporting, working with me. They're coaching. Some teachers as well. So we're really building a program.
A community.
Yeah, building that culture of success.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just been really good seeing the effect that it has on the students.
you're already starting to see what we call objectives in nonprofits, right?
Right.
Objectives and goals. You're already starting to see those objectives being hit, not like, oh, we now got a team, so that's a deliverable.
Yeah.
But no, the emotional change, the community that's being built, the teachers getting involved.
Yeah.
Like they see the investment that you're putting into this program and these children, and they're getting involved. That's a community.
Yeah.
You're building a culture and a community around something that was not there at all.
Yeah.
And that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and it's a need. I mean,
it really is.
And then you look, coronavirus hits us.
Right.
Oh my goodness, right? We go virtual and we really see the need big time for our kids.
Yeah.
Not just for our kids though. That's what's right. It's not just our kids.
Oh no, it's the adults too.
Oh, right. Yeah. Right.
Well, everything across the board. We've all heard the statistics, and we don't need to get into but everything's up.
Right.
And everything is up.
Yeah.
That is not good.
Right.
From suicides to abuse to domestic violence to just across the board is up.
Yeah.
And so it's I think, and I'm not statistical. I'm not going to say I know this for a fact, but from what I know, everything is up.
Right.
And so it's which isn't to amount of a pile of beans, by the way. What I know is a very small pile of beans.
Right.
But I'm just making that clear to everybody. If you know more than me, feel free to put the statistics up in the comments. Cover myself.
Right.
No, I'm just teasing. But, I think, for me, I think what means so much about what you're doing, I'm invested here in our local community, state, but we're here in the country. I mean, I was a soldier myself, in the Army, National Guard, and served. But we're here as Americans. We're here as humans to be here to support each other. Just humanity.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter if you're born in another country. You still got the same color blood.
Yeah.
as all of us.
Yeah.
And so it's not a. It's I want to serve, and I think it's really evident how passionate you are about serving these kids. And tell me about your I'm pretty I'm how do I say the word? I love the idea of understanding people's love languages. And so for me, I understand mine pretty. Have you read that book, The 5 Love Languages?
I have not. I've heard of it, but I haven't.
Yeah, it's really an insightful book, and just giving you understanding about communication with folks, especially with your spouse. She, my wife likes it when I do things around the house because she's an acts of service love language.
Okay.
So the idea is if you understand someone else's love language, then, as a human, naturally, we project what we like or what we want. So I'm a words of affirmation. Man, I love you. What's up, bro? Man, you're awesome. And I'm always like giving praise, because that's where my love language is words of affirmation.
Yeah.
My wife, not at all. She don't want to hear it. She wants to see it, in action, acts of service.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know exactly where I was going with this, but the fact that you're able to communicate with these young people, that's very, very special. It's a unique trait that it's not only do you have patience because you teach first graders and up, but anyone who can teach young people 6, 7, 8 hours a day is just an incredibly patient person. And so I just want to thank you for that. And
I appreciate that.
The program you're doing at Louisiana Key Academy by helping these children and building that athletic community and empowering these young people along with empowering adults, because what you're doing is you're teaching other adults how to act. Yeah. You're teaching other adults how to serve. Yeah. And so you're teaching me and in this very moment. And so I'm empowered And so it's very, and I know that people who are watching this are going to tell me, because I get the communication from them, and they like, this person is incredible. I only have one podcast up as of this recording, and by this time, this is number 3.
Wow.
So we had an LSU baseball player on last week.
Okay.
And he is incredibly talented and played at a LSU national championship team.
Nice.
I mean, just a wonderful person, and just again sewing into people's lives. And I think that to see you here, to have you here, to hear you and your story, it's really, really incredible. So thank you so much for just sharing that with us and doing what you're doing, man. I'm really...
Yeah, no, I appreciate being here. I mean, you even having me. I mean, when I first talked to you, who knew we'll be sitting down like this and
the story's interesting.
So
the voicemail story.
right. 3 months later, almost.
Right. It was crazy. I didn't know there was a voicemail. Just so for the folks watching, I didn't know there was a voicemail. And I kind of stumbled upon it and reached out and said, "I'm so sorry for missing your call." And wait, what did I call you about?
Yeah, right. It was
30 minutes later. It's like,
yeah,
we're gonna have to get together.
Right.
And so I think you're easily going to fall right in line with the mission of what this podcast is about, and what our mission here is. This is what we did today was exactly what we were supposed to do.
Wow. Okay.
And it's all in God's time, and I'm I'm extremely confident in that.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, this environment, you can feel this. It's an environment here. Really appreciate that, because you can't find it everywhere. I think this is a really special moment in time. Yeah. Even you doing something like this, having a community and being able to allow people, and of course yourself, being able to express things that are real. Yeah. Because the world right now is a lot of fake things going on. There's a lot of mixed signals, and it's almost like a dinosaur, right? Real feelings and talking about things that is going to empower you. Yeah. Just not maybe promote you, because I'm not really looking for like that promote me at all like that. But
it's never been about you. It's never been about you.
That's right.
It's about them.
Right.
And it's about the future of their
and
lives.
I think that's my love language, right? Like, the giver. You know what I mean? That makes me feel good. Yeah. That I impact. I think one of our slogans is empower the person, impact the world. And that makes me feel I'm happy with that. Makes me happy. Yeah. That I can give that back. Knowing I didn't get it though when I was a kid, right? Yeah. That's the background story. Yeah. Didn't get none of this stuff, but being able to give it back. So I think it's great. And I did want to mention my coding program.
So tell us a little bit about it.
We're
not on a time clock.
Okay, good. Yeah, you could cut out whatever. But,
I ain't cutting nothing out. But this is imperfect.
That was a pivotal time when understanding technology is important.
You didn't. Now that you bring up the coding program that you have, and you tell more about it, but that makes sense. You were at Silicon Valley. Yeah. I said silicone.
Yeah,
it might be really that
real,
too.
Silicon Valley, and it goes back to exposure.
Yeah,
that's I was exposed to these different things.
Yeah,
and so even back then.
Wow, boy, that just hit me hard. What you just said. Let me tell you why. And so there was a book I read, and it's called The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, and it talks about how. What's his name? Microsoft, Bill Gates, started, he was already coding. It just so happens that where he went to middle school, they bought a computer old, like went back in, I guess that was probably in the 70s. And he was learning basic coding in middle school. So by the time, or middle, it may have been high school. Anyone who read The Outliers can quote me on this. But most people at that time did not start coding until, like, when he got to college. That's the story. When he got to college, most people were just beginning to code. But he had access You talk about that accessibility, and
Yeah.
that's what we're doing here with this classroom.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
with
right.
the Struma High School,
That's
we're going to
right.
have these kids in here. We're teaching them about, and with athletics, you know, we're teaching them about recording and engineering and beats and loops.
Yeah.
And with in regards to your athletics and in regards to your coding program, you're giving kids an opportunity they would never have.
Never have.
And so
That's right.
it's, you know, the adults watching this who are your age, my age, well, not really my age, they probably get it, but really our parents, like the ones that are living, they were thinking, what in the hell do I need to learn about coding? Why would my kids need to learn about coding? But you and I can clearly see that Web3 is happening.
That's right.
And coding is going to be the number one skill set necessary for 15 years from now. 10 years from now, probably.
Yeah, just like Excel,
Right.
PowerPoint back in the day, right? Microsoft Word.
Right.
Now look, it's everywhere.
I love when Gary V's like, all them haters. All right, so keep going back. Let's go back to your coding program. So your Silicon Valley experience, and obviously you're literally expert. Your education in that world.
Yeah, so I wasn't in the computers myself. I was
Okay.
a VAR, value-added reseller, where I sold hard drives and things like that, you know, tape backup libraries.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, that's what they were doing back then.
Yeah.
But I knew,
Before the cloud.
yeah, before the cloud, but I knew, like, if you want to make a good living, technology is going to be important.
Oh yeah.
And so, you know, I stayed abreast. We call it the best of breed technologies. And so when I moved out here, when my passion, like I talked about, when my passion truly came of giving back to the community, and I'm thinking like, man, what do youth need to help them be successful, just to have a good life, right? You don't have to be super rich, but you can learn the code and make a very decent living. And this is the big thing too. You don't have to leave the South. Because what I know about the South, I don't know everything, but I know people that was born in the South love the South,
Oh yeah.
right? You don't want to go nowhere else. This is it for the South, right?
Right.
This is home. And this is an opportunity where you give an individual a skill that they can use to make good money and
practical.
bring it back here and
Yes.
stay here. That's huge.
And so you're not only building the skill sets of young people, but you're also helping our economy.
yeah,
And that's something that's probably not
Yeah,
talked about
economy.
much. But remember, if you, I mean, and I'm not saying there's like, the idea is encouraging people that you don't have to leave this state, and there may be future there around what you're doing to help, you know, build well, like you're saying. So you're starting this coding program, and you currently don't have a facility, or you have a facility?
No, I don't have a facility.
Okay.
Actually, we did it over Zoom.
Okay.
We did it over Zoom during the pandemic.
Yeah.
We did it in multiple states. We just, like, you know, I mean, we had people from California,
Wow.
Texas, Baton Rouge, of course, here, Atlanta, Georgia, and it was amazing. Now, what's different about my coding program, I call it Code Out. It's character mixed with coding. So we got a lot of computer programmers. We kind of sat down, did a round table. What are characteristics? What characteristics are needed to be successful coders? What are those character traits? We put a big list. They were like, you know, you need to be this, you know, this, and that.
Yeah, you need to follow through.
Right. It was a bunch
Yeah.
of those. And so what we do is we do a mix session. So there's a character session, and then we learn the code. There's a character session, and we call that coding out. It's almost like coding out and code into success. So,
Wow.
And it's worked out really well. I mean, I was shocked that the parents, and these parents were from, you know, we had some even third graders in this group up to, you know, seniors in high school. And the parents just loved the character piece.
Wow.
I was surprised. Like, I'm
Well, I mean,
thinking,
but you're building you're
wild.
building like a morals and ethics.
yeah, the confidence to
Yeah.
be successful, and the work ethics too. So
Yes.
not just telling them to go work, but this is how you be successful at work.
Right.
You need to have these skills, and if you're successful at work, you'll keep your job. That's sustainability. You're happy while you work, right? So
What's the old, like, don't be a quitter. Like, you know, follow through.
Yeah.
You know, when you start a project, finish it.
Yeah.
Don't be 90. You know, don't do things
Yeah.
90%. You
Right.
know,
And it's making it relatable. That's
right.
That's
Age
the
appropriate.
big. That's like the secret sauce, though. Like everybody could just say, "Oh, I'm gonna do a character session, and have a PowerPoint up, right?" But make it relatable and not street relatable, where I'm trying to be cool. Because
No, it could
then
be a little
it could
Fortnite
get
or
lost.
something. It could be
Right,
built
right,
around Minecraft, something
Right.
that
Right.
they understand
Right.
and they can relate to.
Right. It's,
Meeting them where they are.
that's right, and it's professional too, though, because they have to think that way as well.
Oh yeah.
Like I'm not gonna like just play games. I don't play games with kids and
No,
this what
I
we're gonna
mean,
do.
like,
But yeah,
it's-
it's gonna be important to have that
100%.
to
I love
bring
it.
them in. Yeah, it's fun.
So what's the
Yeah, it's
plans
fun.
with the because so currently the athletic program is with Louisiana Key Academy, and it helps you. You have that sort of like that's the source of that community, and that's where it's going to stay.
Yeah,
right now.
that's I'm teaching there.
And then,
Yeah,
and so, but with this
we're building
specifically, what is your strategic plan as far as short term, long term? Do you see you see yourself building a small school or moving into maybe a location at some point in the near future?
yeah. So that's the goal, is really to find our location where we can have. But it's been through COVID too, so right. So you don't.
Well, I'm
wanna have a
actually
building.
strategically asking these questions because I'm like, maybe. And is this a nonprofit or will it be a for-profit business?
It's through my nonprofit.
So it would be totally nonprofit.
Yeah, yeah.
And would it cost? Would you charge the participants, or would you?
They would charge the participants,
Okay.
or
And
it could be
based
grant funded,
on-
and
yeah.
companies could fund it as well. There's
Okay,
many
so if you're
different
watching
revenues.
certain folks that I know have an entire room full of the ability to provide this at a period of time, I really want you to contact me. I'm telling you, I know some specific people that need to be partnered with you in helping you support this.
yeah,
Maybe giving you the facility, getting you a facility.
yeah,
Man, we got to help you with that. That's such a big piece of this too.
yeah. No,
In your work.
Yeah, it really could change communities. I mean,
Yeah.
it could change generations.
And it's
You
a
know, break
practical
cycles.
skill.
Yeah.
Like when people are losing jobs and they're going, wait a minute, we're seeing types of jobs that are going away because they're being phased out with technology. This, folks, is the type of work that will allow your children to be successful in the now, not
Yeah.
just the future.
That's right.
Coders are very successful now,
Right.
and they're only going to get more successful.
That's right.
It's like, I get angry sometimes. I'm talking about long division with my kids. I'm like, why are we teaching our kids long division?
Right.
Because we have calculators. And it's not like calculators are going to go away.
That's right.
So let's teach our kids how to use a calculator correctly.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how to use a scientific
That's
calculator.
right. Yeah, it could get complicated,
So,
right?
So I would have liked to spend more time on that than I would have on all the long division that we spent on.
Right.
But-
That's
but-
the way of the world, right?
But that's
You kinda-
and that's why we keep doing the work we're doing, because
Yeah.
we just keep plugging our
Just keep-
ideas in
Yeah,
and
and
trying
just
to
keep
give as
working.
much as we can. But look, I want to continue to help support you, and I know that
appreciate
whatever listening audience, small or big, that it is here as it grows, we're going to do this again and come back, please, in
Yeah,
6
yeah,
months,
sure.
and let's do
Yeah.
an update and how are
Yeah.
things and. So currently, is there any website or anything I can send people to see anything that you're doing? Or, maybe we can get something and I'll share it out later.
Yeah. No, I have a website.
Okay.
My website is the Care-Foundation.
Yeah. Okay. The Care Foundation. We're about to put that up right now.
And it's .org.
Care.
Now, if you just put in the Care Foundation straight, it's going to be an animal sanctuary.
That's all right.
So that's not going to be me. I have to put the dash in there. But
No, I like it.
But it's just been a really good journey, growing within the community with the youth and with the parents too, because we work with parents
Yeah.
just as well. Parents are a very important part, with our youth, and even helping them bridge that gap, because it can be great.
So, folks, check him out. My man's got a famous name, John Stewart. I love that. I wanted to put on there, and I'm gonna promote this podcast, and I'm going to put on there next guest John Stewart. I ain't going to say nothing about it.
Oh,
and that way they can all be expecting old John Stewart, the famous John, the
I'm
real
not,
famous John
Yeah,
Stewart.
I'm just a regular guy here.
Yeah, but John Stewart could be learning a few things from you too. So let me tell you, we are honored to have you here for the third podcast. Thank y'all so much for joining us. Myself, David St. Romain, and my friend John Stewart here from thecarefoundation.org. Check him out. There's the website right here. Stories of Survivors. Thanks for joining us. Presented by Songs of Survivors. Have a great night.